Hello everybody and welcome to the new Civilization V Deathmatch series. This series will feature Fallout, and more specifically, the universe of Fallout New Vegas. Welcome guys! I know this series has been a long time anticipated, and I do apologize for the delay. I have been rather sick for the past few weeks. My throat's been a bit not up to snuff, as we should say, so I wasn't really able to do any recording. In fact, the recordings you guys see, the series that are currently out, have been recorded quite a while ago, so it's a bit of a backlog, really, but this series is very, very recent. In fact, this series should upload about a day after I record it, so that is to say that this video should be out either on Wednesday or Thursday. So let's get into exactly what this series is going to encompass. So, for those of you guys who know a little bit about Fallout, or more specifically Fallout New Vegas, we're going to go over the 5 main factions, and then go over a little bit about the city-states that we've got in this game before we get started. So, also, I'm playing with a mod that is Fallout New Vegas. I believe it's called The Battle for Fallout New Vegas. You can find it on the Steam Workshop. It'll be in the comments below. But basically, before we get started again, I'm going to go over the main factions. So, first and foremost is Mr. House. Mr. House, of course, being the lead AI, I guess you could say, that is in control of the city of New Vegas. Now, this isn't Las Vegas. This is New Vegas. This is New Vegas. All right, this is Las Vegas after the nuclear apocalypse. Again, if you guys want more information, feel free to check out the Fallout Wikipedia. It's very, very informative. So, going to the left here, we've got the Enclave Remnants that are holed up in the Enclave Bunker. Now, for you guys who have played Fallout New Vegas, the Enclave, that is to say, the continuation of the United States of America, is not really prevalent, to be quite honest with you guys. It's not very prevalent in New Vegas, but you could find them in the Enclave Remnants bunker to the southwest of New Vegas, so I've decided to put their capital here. Of course, for every civilization that is not Mr. House, that is to say, every civilization that is not New Vegas, will also start off with 2 additional settlers. So I've taken it to myself to kind of buff up Mr. House and make New Vegas a bit larger. It's a population of 6 as opposed to 3, as are the rest of the civilizations, as New Vegas cannot make any settlers or annex cities due to its unique ability. So, with that being said, the Enclave is over here to the southwest. Let's go and check out the Brotherhood of Steel, who are located in the Hidden Valley to the south of New Vegas. These guys are probably my favorite. That is to say that I want these guys to win. The Brotherhood of Steel has always been a favorite for me. I really like how they work. They're very, very futuristic and advanced. So that is to say that their unique ability actually gives them more science once they advance through the eras. So, again, if these guys could survive into the modern and future era, they should probably be able to win because their unique unit, which is the Liberty Prime, is that what it's called? Optimus Prime? I think it's called Liberty Prime. It's a replacement for the giant death robot, and it's more massive and just it kicks ass, honestly. For those of you guys who have played Fallout 3, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about at the end of the game with Liberty Prime. So, they can make Liberty Prime, assuming they survive. So, again, Hidden Valley, located in the middle of the Mojave Desert. It's, I guess, hidden, as they should say. So, let's go to the east, to another one of my favorites, and I think probably one that most of you guys are going to be cheered for. That is to say, the New Californian Republic, the NCR. They are located over here, headquartered in Hoover Dam, which is their largest, most strategic area of operations in Fallout New Vegas, which is why I've selected it as their capital. Of course, due to the fact that their capital is located in California, their capital cannot be placed in this specific deathmatch map, but that's okay. Hoover Dam, of course, a very strategic location, kind of separating the 2 western and eastern banks. The main superpowers, of course, lying on the west. But that also brings me to the last faction, which is the Caesar's Legion, which are headquartered in the fort, which is to say the Caesar's Legion fort, which is to the northeast of Hoover Dam. And this is where the Caesar's Legion have their headquarters in the New Vegas area. So, these guys, for those of you who have not too aware of what's going on with Fallout lore or mythology, whatever mythos, the Caesar's Legion are basically a bunch of, how do I say this, slavers. They like to enslave other people. They're a little bit more primitive than the others, and they follow a dictator by the name of Caesar, who calls himself Caesar, of course. Of course, this is not Julius Caesar. This is somebody else entirely. So, With that being said, let's go over the various city-states that we have for you guys today. Most of these city-states are, of course, in-game with Fallout New Vegas. Some of them are just, maybe 1 or 2 inhabitants. Others are larger. Of course, for the first one, we've got Nelson, which in Fallout New Vegas is actually under the control of the Caesar's Legion. Excuse me. Remember I said I was sick. I still am a little bit sick, so I do apologize. I did want to get this video out today, though, so we're going to continue regardless of the facts of, the sniffles and whatever. So, the Northwest, we got Novak, really cool city. North, we got 188 Trading Post, of course. The south of Hidden Valley, we've got Nipton, of course. This is the city that was basically crucified by the Caesar's Legion. We're going to ignore that, because that didn't happen in this timeline. We have Prim, the southwest of Hidden Valley, and the west of Good Springs. This is, of course, where the protagonist, the courier, starts his mission in Fallout New Vegas. So, a bit of an important area, I guess you could say. To the north, we got Sloan. Don't really know anything about Sloan. It's a bit useless, I guess. Nothing really going on in Sloan. The northeast, we got the Followers Outpost, the Followers of the Apocalypse. These guys are like a cult. They worship, I think from Fallout 3, they worship that bomb in the middle of Megaton. I don't really know what else they worship. I think they just worship the nuclear bomb and Fallout and all that. That's why I pasted them over here in the desert. And again, I do apologize if these city-states are not in the correct locations, but I have checked the map exhaustively for Fallout New Vegas, and by and by, they're in the correct locations. Of course, this map that I'm using, the mod that I'm using, is not always correct in terms of, especially how the, I guess the Hoover Lake is what this is a bit bigger, and it's a little bit of a weird thing going on here. So, we talked about Slow, we talked about the Followers Outpost. Far to the west, we've got Jacobstown. Of course, this is where the Super Mutants, they've got their city over here in the mountains, far to the west of anything else. So, we'll see if anybody ever comes into contact with them. The northeast of New Vegas, we've got the Nelson Air Force Base, which was under the control of the Boomers. That is to say, a group of civilians? Military units? I don't really remember. It's been a long time since I played New Vegas. But they are armed with lots and lots of explosives, mainly mortars and cannons and stuff like that. The southwest, or rather the northeast of New Vegas, in the close proximity, would be Freeside, but they've never actually settled the city, so we're going to wait for them to settle the city. Of course, Freeside is located just outside of New Vegas. And last but not least is the city-state of Bitter Springs to the north of, I guess, Lake Hoover Dam. I don't know. I'm not really into the geography of, Nevada and whatever, so I don't really know what this is, but it's Bitter Springs. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the options and make sure that everything is looking good. We, of course, need to enable single-player auto-intern and multiplayer auto-intern to make sure that everybody is ending the turn when they say we are. So, before I go ahead and get rid of this menu, of course, the game is going to go and start. Several things. Excuse me, once again. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not exactly 100% healthy here. Right. So, I've opted to start the game in the industrial era. That is to say that all of the units and all of the civilizations are going to be starting out with musketmen and, multiple settlers and all that. So, it should be a little bit interesting to see how this plays out. Another thing is that most of these civilizations are going to get their unique units in the modern period. That is to say that maybe in the next 2 or 3 episodes, we'll see. Again, so instead of actually doing auto-intern, we're just going to end it manually. I think it's a bit easier. Let's go and fly around a little bit, as I always do. We're going to be doing commentary, and we're going to be showing you guys exactly what's going on over here. Of course, Freeside has yet to settle her city. A bit annoying, really. And the Enclave are sending out to the east to meet up with Mr. House. It'll be interesting to see if the Enclave are able to forge a new empire off of their remnants, their bunker or whatever. So let's go south. Hidden Valley, of course, the headquarters of the Brotherhood of Steel. They're sending out their settlers and their musketmen. They haven't really found a place yet. They're just scouting, as are the NCR forces outside of Hoover Dam, and are the slaving legionnaire forces of Caesar's Legion. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Excuse me. So again, we see a lot of these civilizations starting to move out and fan out a little bit. Now, it looks like Freeport has finally decided to sell its city. That is to say that this city is not called Freeport, it's called Freeside. So we'll rename it. Cool. Freeside. Cool. Freedom. So let's go ahead and end the turn again. Nobody's done anything interesting. Nobody's even settled a second city yet. We're going to keep our eyes out for that, of course. Again, in the interim, while nothing interesting is happening, I should mention that New Vegas, Mr. House that is, his civilization is much like Venice. That is to say that they cannot settle any other cities, they cannot annex any other cities. That is why I buffed up their city, and it makes up for it by being a very tall civilization. Their unique ability, which is the house always wins, I believe gives them either culture or golds per citizen, so they're geared up to be a tall civilization. We do see the second city for the Enclave, Raven Rock, to the southeast of Enclave Bucker. Of course, Raven Rock is nowhere near New Vegas in the in-game lore, but we don't care. We're not going to rename every city. That would take forever. We're not going to bother with that. Let's go to the south, where the Brotherhood of Steel have also set up their second city called the Capital Wasteland. Of course, for those of you guys who have seen, or rather have watched or played Fallout 3, you'll know that the Capital Wasteland is basically where the Washington, D.C., the remnants, the ruins of Washington, D.C. So again, this is far away from really where this is supposed to be. But, you know, again, we're not going to rename anything. Let's go to the east, where the NCR have set up their second city, which is Shady Sands, which I believe is their capital in California. And the Caesar's Legion have yet to set up anything. Let's go ahead and end the turn and see what's going to happen. So in this turn, the Caesar's Legion, the Legion, I should say, have set up their city of Flagstaff. Nice. I believe Flagstaff is in Arizona, which is also their capital. We're seeing some interesting movements here. Of course, the NCR forces are coming into contact with Nelson and Novak. We'll probably start to see some trade here, of course. For those of you guys who are not familiar with these factions, they will be available in the comments below. You can download them, of course, to your leisure. I really like NCR because they get a benefit to trading with other civilizations. I don't really remember exactly what the benefit is, but it's pretty good. Let's go to the north, where the Enclave has came into contact with Mr. House and New Vegas Strip. We'll see if they have any hostilities towards them. More than likely that the Enclave is going to have a very hostile AI, if it is to be somewhat realistic. That is to say, somewhat friendly to the Fallout in-game lore, because the Enclave are much bloodthirsty, highly futuristic, vertibird, flying warriors who seek to regain the territory that the United States has lost. They consider themselves to be, I guess, the successor state of the United States of America. In fact, they claim themselves to be the United States of America, but nobody else really does. I mean, again, this is like a few hundred years after the nuclear apocalypse. Really, there's no legitimacy to their claim anymore. Of course, their president is actually an artificial intelligence. Spoiler alert for any of you guys who haven't played Fallout 3. Sorry about that. Still play it, though. It's a great game. So, that being said, the Enclave have settled in 3 cities in the very fertile slash, not really fertile, it's plains. I guess plains are a bit more fertile than the desert, though. They've settled other cities in a very fertile area. Let's go down to the south, where the Brotherhood of Steel are deciding where to fit their third cellar. They have a very good, I guess, location here with lots of wine and citrus. And more wine. These Brotherhood of Steel dudes are going to get drunk. Let's face it. Let's go to the east, where the NCR have set the third city of Alzabo, I think is how you say it, the southwest of Hoover Dam. So they've got a very geopolitically, I guess, strategic location here in the middle of the map. That is to say that most of this map is completely empty. I've not done the honors to fly over it yet, but you guys see what I'm saying. It's completely empty, nothing really important. Of course, Fallout New Vegas takes place basically from this area over here, east to the Hoover Dam, all the way up to where the Legionnaires are situated. Rather, the Caesar's Legion is situated in their fort, and then it basically ends. So, a lot of this map is going to be completely empty. Maybe they'll settle it, maybe they won't. But speaking of the Caesar's Legion, they have set up the third city of Tucson over here next to the fort. They've got a very, very nice area as well. Lots and lots of growth potential for the Caesar's Legion here, assuming that the NCR does not set up any cities to the east, which they might. As far as growth potential, the Brotherhood of Steel really doesn't have much. They could settle to the east, potentially to the west near Good Springs. The Enclave, again, doesn't have that great of potential. They could, of course, settle around New Vegas, maybe even taking out New Vegas itself. We will see. It remains to be seen. Besides that, let's go and continue the game. Of course, just like every other Civilization deathmatch in this series, this deathmatch is going to be situated, or rather the goal is going to be a domination-based victory. Of course, this should be a bit faster, considering there's only 5 main factions, and the map is a bit smaller. So, I can't wait to see how this game turns out. I'm a big Fallout fan. Of course, I don't know as much lore as maybe some of you guys do, so correct me in the comments below if I make any mistakes, or, you know, if a city's not placed in the correct location or whatever. Again, the map mod as well as the faction mods are going to be listed in the comments below. Feel free to check them out. And a big shout out to the modders who I have completely forgotten the names of, because they did a really nice job. So, it seems to me that the Brotherhood of Steel have set up their 3rd city of Aragu outside of Hidden Valley, of course, next to all this cotton that's in the middle of the desert. Inexplicably, again, I did not make this map, so the luxury placement might be a bit wonky, and in fact, it might be a bit janky, but I think it's relatively balanced. Again, maybe I should have balanced it out a little bit more. Before I painstakingly placed all of these city-states and factions, there was actually, like, you know, World Wonders, like the Sripada and El Dorado, and I had to get rid of all that too. That was a bit annoying, to be quite honest with you guys. And of course, as always, since this is a deathmatch video, we do have the English nuclear submarine over here, the ice floe to the south of Hoover Dam. Don't ask me how the ice got there, I don't know. Who the hell knows? We are starting to see that the NCR has set up some naval forces here, the south of Hoover Dam. Not exactly very useful, but they've got a cargo ship, which might be used to feed their city of Hoover Dam, their capital, of course. So, let's go ahead and hit next turn. Of course, the biggest city, no surprise, is New Vegas, because I buffed it up a little bit. They also have a little bit more cultural tiles than the others, just due to the fact that they don't have any starting settlers. Excuse me again, I know that's really gross. Ugh. Anyways, we're in the west, Jacobstown. We got nothing going on over here. Super mutants are staying still. Oh, another thing that I've done in this particular deathmatch video, because I know these are the first few turns. It's going to be a little bit boring for the time being. I've disabled burning down cities, which is to say that if a city-state takes another city-state or a city-state captures a city, the city-state will actually form a little mini-empire, which I think is awesome. And this will also mean that Mr. House will be able to potentially hold on to territory, whereas he normally would not be able to. The first wonder of the game has been nabbed by Caesar's Legion, the Himeji Castle. Very useful. I guess wonder, if memory serves, I believe it increases the combat strength of units within their territory. But if they are as aggressive as they were in game, they probably are going to be an expansive, aggressive civ. Of course, we see the meeting between the Legion Musketeers and the NCR. For the first time in the game, we are seeing different factions meeting each other. Of course, earlier the Enclave have met New Vegas. And quite annoyingly, I did not disable the World Congress, so we're going to always abstain if we can here. How the hell do I abstain? Can I? Okay, I guess I can't abstain. So we're gonna hit yeah for banning pearls, because there's no pearls in this map. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But we're gonna hit the end of the turn. We're gonna go see what everything is going on over here. Nothing really that interesting, of course, because we are starting in the industrial era. We are seeing some crossbowmen, which is a bit funny. I don't know. Come on, I don't give a fuck. Like, let's just repeal that, I guess. I don't want to do anything. Of course, I'm England, but we don't have anything besides the nuclear submarine, so completely disregard my, I guess, playable faction here. Again, we're going to continue to end the turn. And I think, like, actually, let's go ahead and just auto-end turn for now. I mean, you guys don't want to see this shit. Let's just end it. There we go. Cool. So this way I can kind of fly over while we end the turns automatically. Of course, over here, Brotherhood of Steel are building up a little bit of an army. We'll see what they do. There's also some Brotherhood of Steel musicians, which is a bit interesting. I think these guys are kind of like the Brotherhood scribes that are in the game. Of course, again, for those of you guys who are not familiar with Fallout New Vegas or even the Fallout lore, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But first, before we end the turn, Caesar has completed the Taj Mahal. Mr. House has completed the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Interesting. Let's go ahead and continue. So, it looks to me that the Caesar's Legion is spamming wonders. Of course, there's lots of wonders for them to take, considering we are starting in the industrial era. So, all of the, I guess, wonders of the previous eras are up for grabs. We'll see, of course, if they take any of these. So, again, going over the lore of the game. So, the Brotherhood of Steel are basically a bunch of guys who are obsessed. Ooh, the Globe Theater has been created by them. They're obsessed with technology. They're basically like if you took monks And hold on, we're gonna end the auto turn because the Enclave have actually already declared war on Mr. House. So before I end the turn, the Brotherhood of Steel are basically these monks, these futuristic monks that are trying to preserve technology, no matter the cost. They're always trying to attain new technology, to try to find new technologies that are uncovered around the Capital Wasteland and the Mojave Wasteland, really throughout the entire wasteland of North America. They're searching for new technology, and if you get in their way, they'll fucking kill you. So they're a bit of a hostile faction. They're very reclusive. They stick to themselves, and they're trying only to increase their own, I guess, knowledge of technology. So again, we're gonna continue with the lore series here in a minute, but first let's go ahead and end the turn and see exactly what's gonna happen between the fight between the Enclave and Mr. House in Las Vegas over here, or rather New Vegas. I misspoke. It would be a bit embarrassing if a faction was already wiped out this early in the game, but it could happen. So again, the Brotherhood of Steel have completed another wonder, the Sistine Chapel. It seems to me that they might be focused on culture, as this is kind of a form of technology. In the game itself, they're very literate. In fact, most of the people in the Fallout series are no longer literate. Of course, there are no more schools in this universe. So they pride themselves on kind of maintaining the knowledge of previous generations. So that kind of makes sense as why they're spamming these cultural buildings and musicians and stuff like that. So again, Las Vegas is under attack. And I didn't even see this, but the 188 trading post has been captured by the NCR. It looks like the NCR have been at war with the 188 trading post. I didn't even know, so that's a bit interesting. And again, I do apologize. I actually realized in this video I do not have the improved AI mod. I'm going to have this for the second part of the series. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for this. It's like the improved UI mod or whatever. I'm going to add it for the second episode, so stay tuned for that. Again, we're going to kind of show you guys the scores here really quick. Caesar's Legion and the Brotherhood of Steel are in the lead, of course, artificially inflated due to the fact that they have wonders. So again, going back to the war outside of New Vegas, we of course see the Enclave surrounding the city of New Vegas. Whether or not the city falls remains to be seen. Of course, the Enclave lacks their signature vertibirds, as they do not have access to oil just yet. Pretty soon, most factions will have access to oil. It's just for the time being that there is no access, I guess, to oil. So, again, Owen Leones has completed the Porcelain Tower. The Brotherhood of Steel seem to be just spitting out all sorts of wonders here in the Hidden Valley capital. Let's go back to the north again. We do see that there are some Vegas great generals outside of Freeside. I believe Freeside, okay, it's not allied with Vegas. But it seems like Mr. House is about to get his ass kicked. Maybe in the next turn, Enclave will take out New Vegas. This never happened in the series, but it's about to happen, guys. Unfortunately, not even halfway through the first video, Mr. House has been erased from the game. The Enclave have taken New Vegas for themselves. If this isn't dystopian, I don't know what it is. Orwell would have a heart attack if he... Well, actually, no, he wouldn't. If he played New Vegas or he played Fallout, maybe he would, he'd have some fun. But this is a problem, New Vegas is already in the control of Enclave. Enclave controls 2 original capitals. Well, everybody's going to be a bit upset about this, I'm sure. Especially the Brotherhood of Steel, who are unlucky enough to be due south of the powerhouse of the Enclave. Of course, the Enclave are probably going to have a bit of a happiness problem here. But that remains to be seen. So, we have to assign some delegates to some bullshit. We're just going to hit nay and, yeah, whatever. Again, we don't really give a fuck about the World Congress. It's really just a waste of our time. And again, we have to do this again. This is really annoying. I think I'm just going to disable the World Congress if I can. If there's a way to do that in the middle of the game. Going back up here, we see that the Caesar's Legion are building up a military. We see that the Enclave, or rather, the Brotherhood of Steel... Well, hold on, is that the Enclave? Dick Richardson. Yeah, that's the Enclave. The Enclave declared war upon the New Californian Republic, and they're already sending an army out to attack them. This is a very interesting episode. I didn't think this was going to happen so fast, but it did. The Enclave have already entered the modern era, as has the Brotherhood of Steel, which is most dangerous for everybody, as the Brotherhood of Steel is an incredibly, powerful, incredibly powerful in the modern period. So again, it looks like Caesar has also declared war on the New California Republic. They're about to get flanked which is bad news for the NCR. Let's go ahead and end the turn outside of the NCR and see what happens. The Enclave have adopted autocracy, no surprises there. Brotherhood of Steel have adopted order, okay. Let's end the turn. Of course, we're seeing another settler from the Caesar's Legion that's perhaps settling a city to the east of Hoover Dam, of course, immediately within the vicinity and sphere of influence of the NCR. Going back to the northwest, we see that the Enclave is sending out a relatively large task force to the southeast, consisting of riflemen and lancers, heading directly for the NCR forces. Let's go ahead and end the turn and kind of see how this plays out. We're going to go ahead and auto-end the turns as well here, at least until the fighting starts. New California Republic has taken order as well. We see Phoenix has been constructed to the southeast of Hoover Dam along the, I guess, sea lanes, which is a bad idea for the Caesar's Legion, as this city will be incredibly vulnerable to the Navy that the NCR is pumping out outside of Hoover Dam. We do see, of course, some frigates and some privateers. I think that Phoenix is in a very bad spot. We'll see, of course, how this plays out here in just a minute as we go ahead and end these turns automatically. Of course, we do see that the Caesar's Legion is approaching from the east, from the northeast, about ready to attack Hoover Dam, but Hoover Dam is in a very strategic location. If the NCR is able to hold them off using their frigates and their other strategic things. Of course, we don't see the Enclave approaching just yet. Looks like Phoenix is about to fall to the NCR. Phoenix has indeed fallen to the NCR. Let's see if they can hold it from the onslaught of the Legionnaires. Remains to be seen whether or not this is possible. Of course, the Legionnaires have a much larger land force outside the city of Phoenix, but it looks like, maybe, just maybe, the NCR might be able to hold on to the city. It's going to be a bit tough. Of course, musketmen are not very good at taking out cities, so we'll see how this goes. Of course, they've been successful. Let's go ahead and end the single-player auto-end turn. The Enclave have completed the Brandenburg Gate. Where is the armed forces that they are sending? They're sending them to the east over here. They're fighting some NCR riflemen outside of Hidden Valley, outside the Brotherhood of Steel outpost down here. Let's go back to the north and see what's going on over here in the Enclave territory. We see that the new city of Mariposa has been erected. Very, very interesting. Of course, New Vegas is in their hands. Very, very sad for any of you Mr. House fans. That was, I tried my best to buff him up. I doubled his population at the start of the game, gave him some cultural tiles. Yeah, he just got wiped out. So that's a bit unfortunate. Let's go ahead and end the turn and see what happens here. So far, the New California Republic have been able to very much hold their own here. They've even managed to take in their own city, which is great news. The Enclave have entered the Atomic Era. They're the first civilization to do so. A bit interesting, I should say. And Caesar has just entered the modern era. A bit lagging behind the Enclave, I should say. Perhaps the Enclave have a bit of a technological bias as well. I'm not really well aware. But once the technology caps out at the future period, it is my approximation that the Brotherhood of Steel should start picking up their pace. Looks like the Enclave have made peace with Dick Richardson. Or rather, Aaron Kimball has made peace with Dick Richardson. Okay, right, cool. So, the Enclave and NCR are at peace. Never really saw any fighting over there. Let's see. Okay, so, NCR has made peace with both of their enemies. That is to say, the Caesar's Legion, as well as the Enclave. We are, of course, seeing the Caesar's Legion unique unit, the Legion Legate, outside of their capital. I'm not really quite sure what the Legate does. I think it's a more powerful infantryman. In fact, don't quote me on that, but I believe it's true. So, again, guys, we're getting to the end of the first episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, I apologize for the delay in which this episode came out. The next few episodes will come out in rapid succession, but they'll also have to wait, as I have a lot of other series that are also coming out. So, expect to see 1 to 2 of these episodes per week, as with most of my other series. Again, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned. This is going to be a really interesting series. We already only have 4 main factions, and they're only going to get stronger. So again, stay tuned for the next episode where I obtain that user interface mod and make everybody happy. I know a lot of you guys have been upset with me for not having this already, but at the end of all of our Deathmatch episodes, as always, we're going to go over the scores of the players in the game. At the very bottom of the chain, we, of course, have the new California Republic. And at the very top of the chain, we have the Enclave, unsurprisingly, as he's captured another capital. So, excuse me. Brotherhood of Steel and Caesar Legion are, of course, in a very good position. Of course, the Brotherhood of Steel should get more powerful as the game progresses. Let's go now to the cultural victory screen, where you can see the happiness of the relative empires here. Of course, Brotherhood of Steel are in the lead with 19 happiness, and the NCR are quite a bit unhappy. They're a bit sad, actually. They've only got 1 happiness. Right, so the ideologies that have been taken have been order, autocracy, and that's it. There's no freedom in Fallout. In fact, there never was. So there's no religion either. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned for the next one, where the war continues. War never changes, as they say. So we'll see how this series progresses. Again, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys soon.